Welcome to Photography Quick Tips. I'm Paul Darvell, the founder of the Henley-on-Thames Photo Walks and the author of the 4-Hour Photographer, the comprehensive course that gives you everything you need to know to take great photos in just 4 hours. In this Photography Quick Tips, we're going to look at exposure and the impacts of ISO, aperture and shutter speed on exposure. If you haven't seen the Photography Quick Tips on ISOs, aperture and shutter speeds, then I suggest you go back and take a look at those before continuing with this one, because it'll just help it make a bit more sense to you. So those three things, aperture, shutter speed and ISO, are what dictates whether the camera is going to take a photograph which is perfectly exposed, underexposed or overexposed. What I'll do is I'll show you some examples of those now, and then we'll talk about this a bit further. So now we're going to look at those examples that I've just mentioned. So if we look here now, so the same picture there, just underexposed, properly exposed and overexposed. So as you can see in the underexposed picture, there's a lot of black, dark areas with no definition to it, and the same being with overexposed, like bright white areas of the photo where we've lost the detail. The properly exposed photo in the middle, you've got all the detail there with the colours. So that's a good example there of underexposed, properly exposed and overexposed. Clearly they're extreme examples, but hopefully they give you a good idea of what we're working with. Now, I've created this little triangle here to help understand how ISO, aperture and shutter speed work together, but also as well the things we need to be aware of. So with ISO, you need to be aware of the noise if you use a high ISO. With shutter speed, you need to be aware of blurring and sharpness depending on what effect you're trying to achieve in the photograph. And then with aperture, the high depth of field or low depth of field. If you want to find out more about ISO, shutter speed and aperture, there is a Photography Quick Tips video that can help you in those areas, so just go back and look for those. Next, there's this table, and I just really here just as a summary. So if you've got a low ISO, it means that the sensor is less sensitive to light. That means that less light is getting onto the photograph, and the reverse being a high ISO is increased noise but more light. With aperture, a low aperture is a large hole. So a low f-stop is a large aperture, less depth of field, more light. Small aperture is more depth of field but less light. Shutter speed, fast shutter speed means less blur but less light. A slow shutter speed will mean more blur but more light too. Hopefully that's given you a good overview of exposure. Please look at the other videos to find out more around ISO, aperture and shutter speed. Thanks for watching this Photography Quick Tips. I hope you've really enjoyed it, but why don't you tell me, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down just under the screen, just down there. Also, why not give me a review, put a comment on there, tell me what you liked, tell me what you didn't like. If you want to watch some of our other videos, there's plenty of other Photography Quick Tips, lots of good information there for you to learn, so either check out our other videos or look at one of the playlists. Whatever you do, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That way you'll get all of the updates on all of our new videos and new content as they come out. I do listen to the comments and feedback that I get, so if you want a particular item covered, then let me know, drop me a message, and we'll look to add that to the list of items that we cover in these Photography Quick Tips. If you want to find out a bit more about me and my company, Henley-on-Thames Photo Walks, go to our website, which is hotphotowalks.com. That's hotphotowalks.com to find out more. Also, you can check out my book on Amazon, which is The 4-Hour Photographer. But until next time, I hope you enjoy your photography. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.